All right, so we have 5 here, so we'll go ahead and begin the August 6th bid board meeting. We have 5 members, so we do have an acknowledgement of quorum. We'll start with the approval of the minutes from the last meeting. I'm so sorry, I said August 6th, it's the September 10th meeting, I apologize. If we could have the approval of the minutes from the August 6th meeting.
So moved.
Motion to approve.
Okay, Larry seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Agenda items for consideration would be the financial report. Carissa, do you want to take us there?
Yep. Scrolling down. Okay, so, because the meeting date changed, this actually hasn't been updated since August 19th. But I know that Larry kind of wanted to talk through a few specific things. So currently for the grants, from last year, Gooley did complete his project. So that will be paid out shortly if it hasn't been already. And then Mike Bauer did sign his facade grant contract, so that one's moving forward. But Mike Husar has pulled back and pretty much it sounds like he's going to apply again next year. So we'll have to schedule another meeting to decide what we want to do with the 2024 grant dollars.
Are those monies going to roll over and add on to next year, or are we just going to take that out of next year's budget?
That would roll over.
They roll over. Unless you have a meeting and you find someone that can do a project this year.
Which would be a short period of time.
Yes.
Yeah, I realize that. Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah. Other things that kind of highlight is landscaping. You can kind of see where we're at, but pretty much at this point, we use the 30,000.
And one other thing with marketing, is that money spent, or is that accounted for or signed, anything?
That's available,
That's available, okay.
as long as you don't have a plan for the rest of the year.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions on the financial report?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, thank you. And then the second item, do we want to end with the bid operating plan, or do we want to just go through it now? Does it matter to anybody? Go through the other items? Okay, then we'll go ahead. We have an open forum on the 2025 bid operating plan. I don't see too many members of outside the community or outside the city. Hello, everyone from the city. Hello there. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak to the 2025 bid operating plan? Any questions, comments? It's a lot like last year's, yeah. There's got to be some comments. No? Well, I know that Larry, and actually some other people in the community have come to me. We were thinking of using some of that marketing money perhaps towards some benches and tables for Old Settlers Park. Thinking that I see a lot of people down there that sit down there on the steps and they're eating their lunch. It's a great place to congregate. And we just thought by adding some great heavy chairs and tables, that would make it difficult to take off with a truck on a Saturday night, would be an added addition to encouraging people to congregate more in that park. Would be very open to any thoughts or comments on that. As long as we had some money, it's still beautiful out. Perhaps that's something that could be a purchase that's made before the end of the year. We realize they would probably have to be moved when the Christmas tree goes up. But we have a long fall ahead of us. It's still very early in September. Any thoughts or comments on that?
Can you do that year-round, or?
Yeah, I think maybe in the winter. I'm not really sure about that, Beth. Sometimes in the height of winter, if that would be good there or not. But there's some stuff that all of our benches are down there anyway.
Right.
There's really a lot of area in there, and I think by putting some tables and chairs.
Them up, like in the winter, like keep
So it is a park.
Yes, yes.
So, a couple of questions, types of tables, types of chairs, who the bid purchases them, are they gonna be donated to the city? As a reminder, because there's tables and chairs there, doesn't mean you can buy an alcoholic beverage across the street, walk into Old Settlers Park and consume it, so we need to make sure that that's also understood. We also have 37, 38 events between the farmer's market and Music on Main in that park. Or how many tables and chairs are we talking? Are you gonna have to move them every Thursday, every Saturday, whatever it might be? So there's some logistical questions.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of see, like, I think of even just farmer's market where you have the music people up in the gazebo playing, and there's really no place to sit and watch them except around the edges, kind of. So if you had, I don't know that would really, I think it would add to farmer's market because there's so many food vendors now in farmer's market that would give them an additional place to sit and be able to eat their, egg rolls or burritos or whatever they're getting, their Danishes. And I think you'd get more people listening to whatever music venue is up there. I think that they would benefit from that tremendously versus the people that are right down on front by the Antidote and coming to where the people mainly walk the street. I think you'd get a lot of families that would purchase even more and sit up there and talk and might kind of empty the street out. So I'm not talking like fill it. I think we were talking maybe like 5 or 6 tables and chairs,
Yeah,
right?
I'd say start out with 4 or 5
Yeah.
of them.
And see how they go.
They have like bistro tables that are the same company that we bought our benches from. And they've got a kind of a durable coating on them. And the chairs can be moved, where they need to be. The tables could be moved over even closer to the benches. You can open the spaces up. But like Peggy says, they're heavy enough where you can't walk off with them. And they're pretty durable.
So we don't run Music on Main, we don't run the farmer's market, those are not our events.
Sure.
So if they need to be moved for those events at any point in time, we would not be the ones to do it, that organization would have to do that.
I think the tables and the chairs take up about the space of one of those blocks of concrete. I think they're 6 by 6 or something like that. So if you go there and visually take a look at it, I think 4 to 5 tables would not really be, and they can be moved. And it would be simple if somebody wanted to move them, they could move them. If they just leave them where they are, they're easy to get around.
Right, again, I can't speak for those organizations that use that space. And
I was gonna say, Noel, I think I see Noel here.
well, I just,
Yeah, I thank you so much for that, because obviously that is something that we consider, for those events that are happening up there. I could see it being, of all of the events, the farmer's market would be the most advantageous to having the tables. It's been discussed in the past, like, should we be putting out portable tables, in certain areas? And just due to the short time frame that we have and the host groups and everything else we have to put up, we decided not to do that, but this could be, an advantage, again, for people eating at the farmer's market. With Music on Main, bringing that up, I know on a busier night when there's a lot of people that, really love the band, there's a lot of people dancing and everything up there. How big are the tables again?
With the chairs, they would occupy about 6 by 6. Did we give you a copy of the
I did see a picture of
Specs
an
on those?
idea, but
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was the one that was set in
Yeah.
stone.
Well, nothing's set in stone, but it's just something that I think should be looked at.
Right.
And just during the day, people can come there and converse, play checkers or chess or whatever, and they can be moved around. They're very portable.
The only other, outside of Music on Main, the event I'm thinking of is like the winter warm-up, when we have like ice sculptures and have to set up like 10 by 10 tents up there. Also Wheels on Me, we set up a couple 10 by 10 tents. So again, to Mike's point, just want to make sure that our staff would be able to easily enough like move them to a section if we needed to for events.
So you just brought up the point I was going to make, was where do they get moved to? So in one community, we had movable tables and chairs downtown, and that was a item of discussion of where do they get stored when they need to be put away. It was a place that had hurricanes, so if a hurricane was coming, you needed to move them into so we had a place that a business owner volunteered that, you know, the bid or whoever could actually lock them up, which rarely happened, but, you know, that kind of situation. Also, the movability of them, it's much easier if we found in that situation, if someone can lift the chair or the table themselves, you don't actually have to have 2 or 3 people and be worried about the weight of it. I mean, movable has a lot to do with the weight, so. And if it can fold up or, you know, or is it just always fixed and it's kind of a bulkier item, then, you know, that's a consideration too of when you're trying to move them off to someplace, then all of a sudden you move them, but then you have this bulk of 6x6 things that, you know, can't kind of collapse and things.
The chairs are individual, the tables probably are about, what, 40 inches for a round table, you know, maybe.
We had very lightweight tables, and that bid was concerned about them walking off, and they never walked off. They were there for years. They never disappeared, so. And people can move them in the shade, in the sun, and back and forth, and, you know, seasonally it worked quite well.
I think there's plenty of options, but I think it's something we should talk about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I just want everyone to know too, I mean, we're not against the idea, or, I just want to make sure that the people that are using that space understand
Yeah.
or are part of the conversation,
Yeah.
so.
What was your comment about the taking a drink? Were you saying like you can't take a drink because it's a public
I
park?
can't go buy a beer at the Washington House, walk across the street and drink it in Old Settlers.
Okay, so we would probably have to have some sort of signage there then as well, correct?
There'd have to be an understanding, or at least from the operation of that facility, that, you know, they ensure that.
Well, there's benches there, they can do the same thing right now.
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, it wouldn't make
I
any
think
difference.
it's-
Okay,
I'm just.
Yeah.
noticing, so.
because like Noel, when people are dancing at Music on Main, they have beers in their hands, right?
Right, with their Class B license
Yes.
within that closed off area where it's allowed.
They have a license.
Oh, so for the event, it's okay,
Right,
got it,
yes.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah, people can't go into a different bar though and bring that beer into our area. It
Yeah.
has to be the beer that we sell within our permitted area.
And if you have a certain table and chair or manufacturer in mind, send me the information.
Okay.
Take a look at it.
Sure.
that would be great.
I don't know.
Now, the design that I did see, Larry, you did drop it off, it was, again, like a bistro circular table with chairs, right?
Yeah, and everything's individual. The chairs, I'm sure that, you know, most people could move around quite easily. I'll send it to you, Mike.
Mike?
Yes,
Yeah,
Mark?
Mike, because this is going in a park, would it have to be donated to the city?
Yes, you would want it donated to the city, and then liability comes with, the, you know,
Yeah,
to the city.
well, we can't own anything anyhow, as
As
a
a
bid.
bid, yeah.
So it would be donated, I'm sure.
Any other questions or comments on that? For it, against it?
Like, do we have an estimate ballpark?
I think they're about $800 for table
And chairs?
and
4
chairs. I don't know
chairs.
what delivery would be, but we would certainly have the funds available to put at least 5 of them in.
2,000, 2,500.
It'd probably be about
If we did,
4 or
yeah,
5.
4 or 5,
Up to
if we,
5?
yeah, up to 5,000.
Depending on delivery.
And give it a shot and see what it looks like and how well it works
And this would be from
The
the
thought of
existing.
people
from the
sitting up
existing
there is
marketing,
nice,
because we have it.
spending time there.
Yeah.
It creates a good atmosphere.
Yeah, I think so too.
So do you need a motion?
I don't do, okay, so I guess we would need a motion to approve tables and chairs upon approval of the city. Do we need to have the approval of the city for it?
I
Kind of,
suppose so, yeah.
Okay.
Upon, and with, you know, a cap of $5,000 for
Okay,
tables and delivery.
all right. Would somebody like to make that motion?
So moved.
Second,
Mark did it, so moved. Seconded? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
all right,
Awesome. Okay, Larry, I'm putting you in charge of getting the plans, because you brought it to me, get it to the city, and make sure Noel is with you, and
Sure.
okay, that we're all in agreement. I think it would be great, and get us a final, so by next meeting, if we can order them, let's get it done.
Good.
Okay.
All right.
All right. 2025 board meeting dates. Oh, the approval of the 2025 bid
Yep.
operating plan. I apologize. Okay, so are there any other questions or comments before we make a motion to approve the 2025 bid operating plan?
I'll make a motion to approve the bid operating plan.
Thank you, Mark.
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the 2025 bid operating plan, say aye.
Discussion.
Oh, is there any discussion or questions?
Yes,
Yes.
yes. We always have a long laundry list of things we want to do, roof line lights and so on. We don't have any money in our budget for doing these kinds of projects at this point. I would like to propose that we visit the assessment on the bid. It's currently at 2%. I would propose that we move that up to 2.5%. That would let us do a small project every year or save up for a couple of years and do a bigger project. But right now we're in an austerity budget and we're not going to do anything basically.
Mark, I'm in favor of doing that, but I'm in favor of doing it for a specific project. I think once we get our strategic planning committee together and we come up with a plan of what the bid should be doing with the funds, then if we have something that we actually agree that would be beneficial to everybody in the downtown area, that we raise it specifically to complete a project, not to just raise it. That's my thought. Yes, Paul.
I would share those thoughts.
Okay. Jane?
I agree.
Yeah, I think that actually we should have a survey done and, and just decide what the community wants.
Yeah, we're all in favor of raising it, but it should be for a specific project, something that, like Larry said, put out a survey to all of the people within the bid, find out what they're interested in doing, get some feedback from the community, so that we know that we're spending the dollars the way that, they're hoping we do. And then I would totally be in favor of that, as I think most people would be, as long as they know that it's going towards something that they approved of rather than just raising it.
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay,
I have a question.
yes.
On the line item,
Mm-hmm.
so there's less marketing, but more landscaping. I'm just looking at the different allocation from one year to the next.
We were moving things around again because the marketing, we wanted to sit tight until we knew what the strategic planning committee was gonna come in with.
Okay.
So rather use some of that. We know that the watering took up the 30, okay? So if we committed to part of the 30, this would give us the opportunity to add, make sure that we're doing the flower baskets and we're doing the art banners and all of that kind of stuff, keeping up with that. But we're not gonna be a watering can either. We're not gonna, that's not, we know that that's not what this bid is for.
Right.
So that was the difference in that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's great.
The same with the facade grants. The way we've run it in the past is, we just assumed that everyone would be really happy with it, that they would approve it, they would get on with their project and so forth. And we're finding that sometimes projects are bigger than people think and they need more time to get it done. So respectfully, we want to make sure that the people who are receiving the facade bid grants, that they are ready to move forward and that they would sign that in a timely manner and get it on. Because otherwise, we're just rolling money over and we're not doing what it's set out to do.
Right.
So, as all of this stuff goes on, we're learning what to fix and what to modify and all of that other stuff. So it's a work in progress, but it's always hopefully getting better,
Yeah.
right?
Right?
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. Okay. Any other discussion? So now I would ask that somebody make a motion to approve the 2025 bid operating plan.
So moved.
There's a motion on the table in
Okay.
a second.
And I just
Okay.
vote.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Okay, list of the 2025 board meeting dates.
I'd like to propose one change. It is the April, I just have to get there.
April 8th?
April 8th, I'd like to move that to the 15th.
Because?
We have an election that day.
Okay,
Elections always necessitate moving locations at a minimum. That's been somewhat problematic in the past. And we have people on the bid that are election officials that won't be able to attend.
do you think it's a problem at all that it would be tax day?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you think it would be any effect at all because the 15th would be the tax day at all? I don't have a problem moving it.
I don't think so. That's
Yeah.
a more flexible day.
Yeah. Does anybody else have an issue with that, moving that one to the 15th?
Well, people have a lot of days before the 15th to get their taxes done.
This is true. Yeah, but do they?
I know, it's just gotta be, everybody's gotta be stamped in the mail, that's all.
Okay. All right, I think I don't think, do we need a motion for that? To change the date?
We probably do.
We do?
Might as
Okay.
Motion.
I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor of moving the date from the 8th to the 15th of April? Say
Aye.
aye. Thank you.
All right.
And then do we have the same with November 11th then?
November 11th is not an election day. First
Yeah, moved
Tuesday
because
after
of
the
the
first.
election.
Yeah, so
What was
that'll be
it?
good.
We moved it because of the election.
Oh, got it. The 4th, okay. All right, and then, so that's, and we also moved it for, okay, all right, do we have any other changes in the 2025 meeting dates?
The only one
No.
that's iffy, just so everyone's aware, is July 1st.
Okay,
But moving it after, you're still by the 4th, so you can't really.
Well, we generally have our meeting after the first council meeting of the month, so that would actually be the 8th in July.
That's it. That's not a big deal.
No.
You've just played it by ear in the past.
Yeah.
If there's people out of town around the 4th, then you can
Yep.
move it closer to
Yeah.
2 weeks.
we'll
Just
just
so
play
you're
that one
aware.
by ear.
Or you can leave it as the 1st. It's
Yep.
not a holiday. Over
Yeah.
here, and
Okay.
it'll-
Okay, I think we'll leave it for now and play it by ear. That sounds good. Okay. All right, and then next month, we were talking about moving it in 2024 because of the election, or I'm sorry, not next month, the following month in November.
Yep.
Moving it to the 12th of November. Does anybody have a problem with that? Okay. All right, and we already had the chairs and table discussion, and I did see both Leona and Noel here. As long as we have just a couple minutes left, did either of you have anything to report on the Bend? Did you guys want to talk about the big block party and what an awesome success it was?
So, yes, it was an incredible way to end the music on main season. According to reports from the police department, I've heard that there were close to 5,000 people that attended, were in the streets, and they kept everyone safe, no incidents, and everyone seemed to have an amazing time. Just want to thank the Bend again. These block parties truly wouldn't have been possible without them. Or thank the Downtown West End Association and suggestion, this really fun idea to make music on Main bigger than ever, to start and end the season. So thank you to the Bend for collaborating.
Yeah, it was a really great night, a lot of activity. A little worried in the beginning because it was a slow go, but as soon as that filled up, yeah, the police officers that were on our roof said they were scoping it. They said, wow, there's a lot of people, a lot more than on the 30th. So it was really, really good. I think this time around, we had a better success with the drinks. I know that was an issue. People seemed very respectful about that, so it worked out really well, so we were very pleased.
Chief, from a police perspective, a big event like that, would you consider it a success as far as not having to arrest anybody for drunk driving or or people causing a ruckus?
We heard nobody arrested, that's 100% a success.
That's fantastic.
And we do appreciate the cooperation with all of the licensed premises within the permit area. That's always a concern. Alcohol can't leave or enter an individual premise. So, worked through a couple bugs from our first event, and if we move forward with it, just that expectation that probably additional staffing, all the taverns agreed to put additional staffing in their outdoor seating areas to make sure we're not having that as an issue. If that becomes an issue, that's something we really need to address. It's something the state frowns on and we frown very highly on, the alcohol moving between the establishments. Not a problem with this last one, and great understanding and moving forwards.
Wonderful. Great. All right. Any other items to discuss? Otherwise, I think we're ready to move on with our day.
A motion for adjournment.
Anyone second?
No, wasting
All
your
right,
time.
all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, have a great Tuesday.